Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating slow-burn corporate drama. We're looking at the source material from Office Drama Stories, specifically episode 098, to explore the deep mechanics of workplace accountability, document truth, and the exact moment a corporate system finally learns how to protect itself. Seriously, if you've ever dealt with toxic office politics or, leaders who just love to rewrite history to suit their narrative, you are going to find this incredibly relatable and honestly pretty fascinating. Let's get into it. Okay, so we're diving right into the inciting incident. The quote goes, "They deleted the document, the red line stayed." I mean, it's a chillingly simple hook, right? This entire saga kicks off with this seemingly boring, totally administrative object that miraculously survives a deliberate attempt to erase it. Just one tiny leftover digital artifact. But that one artifact triggers a massive investigation. What it really proves is that the true danger in an office doesn't always announce itself with a loud, dramatic argument. Sometimes it's just a quiet cursor blinking next to a missing signature. Section 1, the undeletable red line. We'll be looking at the artifact itself and the alibi used to try and hide it. To really understand the stakes here, we have to look at how the system defines an immutable red line. In this context, it's a document edit or a change history that's preserved by the company's memory charter control layer. And the kicker, it absolutely cannot be altered or purged by any user, no matter who you are. This definition is crucial. It establishes exactly why this specific record is so incredibly dangerous to the people at the top. Think about it. It's an executive's worst nightmare, a system that completely removes the ability to silently erase history, which totally shifts the balance of power. And that brings us to the core tension of the whole situation. You have the polished, official explanation versus the messy, underlying reality. On one hand, you've got Transformation Officer Adrian smoothly claiming this red line is just a quote-unquote corrupted duplicate that needs to be purged to avoid confusion. Sounds perfectly reasonable, right? Very standard IT housekeeping. But on the other hand, Maya and her audit team see it for what it truly is. It's a hidden edit trail. And Maya's team? They absolutely refuse to ignore the quiet record in favor of the loud excuses. The stage is officially set for a major showdown. Moving on to Section 2, mapping the quiet proof. Let's see how they followed the breadcrumbs. I absolutely love this quote from IT audit specialist Jordan Price. They say, "Boring is where people hide expensive things." Hit the nail on the head, right? This highlights the core strategy of Maya's team. They don't waste time getting into screaming matches. Instead, you have people like Operations Coordinator Sofia, who is just new enough to still believe the rules should actually be read, looking at the fine print. She's checking the metadata, the routing footnotes, the owner fields, basically all the incredibly boring details that the old toxic culture considers inconvenient because they assume nobody will ever bother to check them. So how do they actually piece this truth together? Well, it's not through some magical Hollywood-style computer hacking. It's way more grounded than that. It's through basic, undeniable sequence. Jordan, along with executive assistant Nina, use raw logs and background records to prove an exact timeline. Look at this sequence. An hour prior, a room is booked. 15 minutes prior, a draft is printed. At 0 minutes, the field is changed. And then 10 minutes later, a route is approved. Boom. They demonstrate that background work always leaves foreground records. People who try to be invisible almost always forget that the system literally sees everything. Then, analyst Aisha Morgan asks this absolute room-shrinking question. She says, "Who benefits if this stays classified as harmless?" Man, what a powerful moment. In toxic environments, management loves to shift the focus from facts to feelings, right? They try to make the person asking the questions feel like they're just overreacting. But Aisha cuts right through that toxic fog. She forces everyone to stop tone policing the accusation and look directly at who actually benefits from the cover-up. All right, let's look at Section 3, the formal review theater, the big showdown. The contrast here is just staggering. The company attempts to put on what we can basically call corporate theater. They're throwing around all this soft, comforting HR language. You know the words: alignment, healing, business continuity, culture reset. All designed to gently sweep the issue under the rug. But Maya pierces right through that polished facade by bringing hard systems to the table. She brings raw exports, exact timestamps, owner history, device records. She doesn't bring emotions, she brings the receipts. And the real masterclass is how Maya maps our evidence directly against the executive's excuses in real time. Every single time Adrian shifts his excuse, "Oh, it's just a duplicate file," or, "Well, the logs need interpretation," or, my favorite, "It's just a harmless error," Maya counters with undeniable proof. She exposes the silent cases, the ghost approvals, the board gaps. The absolute brilliance of her strategy is that she shuts him down one single page and one single timestamp at a time. And you know what's amazing? The stronger the record becomes, the quieter Maya gets. Which leads us to this beautiful realization from the source material. The record did not raise its voice, it simply waited for someone patient enough to read it. I mean, wow. This is the core retention line of the entire story. It proves that you don't actually need louder opinions when you have a clean, documented path from an action directly to its owner. Finding the truth isn't about outshouting the liar. It's about out-documenting them. Okay, final section here, number 4, writing repair into systems, how we institutionalize the truth. Usually, when executives get caught red-handed, what do they want? They want a private fix. They want to apologize behind closed doors so they can maintain their optics and keep their dignity intact. But Maya's team flat out refuses the private fix. They know that keeping it quiet would leave future employees completely exposed to the exact same behavior. So instead, the trust committee takes systemic action. They make those immutable red lines mandatory across the entire board. They update evidence controls for all policies, and they ensure that all workflows leave permanent footprints. They literally write the lesson directly into the process, ensuring the repair outlives the meeting. Which brings us to the ultimate takeaway of this whole explainer. A repaired workplace is one where conflict must leave a record. A truly safe workplace doesn't rely on brave heroes constantly throwing themselves on a grenade just to rescue the truth. That's exhausting, and it's not sustainable. A safe workplace relies on automated, uneditable systems that do not need anyone's permission to remember what happened. So I want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought. Think about your own company for a second. Think about how it handles invisible edits, background workflows, and those sneaky ghost approvals. In your workplace, does truth need a hero to survive, or does the system actually protect it? If someone deleted a crucial document today, would the red lines stay? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, keep asking the right questions.